Native Americans who reside in what is now Northern California are known as the Wintu, or Northern Wintun. Collectively, they belong to a loose group of peoples called the Wintun or Wintuan. The Wintu, Northern Wintun, Namlaki, Central Wintun, and Patwin, Southern Wintun, are the three main groups that comprise the Wintu-speaking population. The Penutian language family includes the Wintu language. From the Sacramento River to the Coast Range, the Wintu historically inhabited the western side of the northern Sacramento Valley. The northern parts of the McCloud River, the Upper Trinity River, and the Upper Sacramento River, south of the Salt Creek drainage, were also included in the northern Wintu's range. Many northern Wintu people still live in Trinity and Shasta counties, close to their ancestral grounds. Jedediah Smith's 1826 trip and Peter Sken Ogden's 1827 mission are the first known encounters between Wintu and Euro-Americans. An estimated 75% of the indigenous population in the upper and central Sacramento Valley perished from a malaria pandemic that struck between 1830 and 1833, killing many Wintu. The goal of the settlement was to reach a land deal with the Wintu people. In return for peace, money, and citizenship, they attempted to annex Wintu territory and transfer them west of Clear Creek. Rather, there was conflict, enslavement, and conflict. In the Sacramento River Massacre in 1846, many hundred Wintu were murdered by John C. Fremont and Kit Carson, who were joined by nearby white settlers. When Europeans gave poisoned food to the local Indians during a friendship feast in 1850, 45 Wenneman Wintu and 100 Namsu perished. In 1851 and 1852, more Wintu people perished, and their property was destroyed in events like the Bridge Gulch Massacre. Native Americans like the Wintu were forced to evacuate by the growing number of settlers heading west during the California Gold Rush. Both tribal members and anthropologists occasionally disagree about how many bands there are in the northern Wintu, but it is generally accepted that there are 8 to 11. These bands are Dapom, Stillwater, Elpom, Cusick, Namtapum, Upper Sacramento River, Winnemem, McCloud River, Namsu, Upper Trinity River, Klabalpom, French Gulch, Dalmuk, Cottonwood Creek, Norelmuk, Hayfork, Puimem, Lower Pit River, Donham, Bald Hills, and Waymuk, M. Shasta. The Waymuk, the last group, are described as a cultural, linguistic, and social transitional group between the Wintu-speaking peoples and the Shastan-speaking peoples. The Waymuk are also thought to be the same population that some linguists and anthropologists have documented as Akwenuchu, which translates to distant people in the Shasta language. Some significant communities are located in Dunsmore, Sisson, now Mount Shasta City, and Sulanharas Creek. They are believed to have occupied the area north of Salt and Nosoni Creek and continuing northward to the southern base of Mount Shasta. A clan of northern Wintu people, known by the Athabascan name Ni-i-che, resided near the South Fork of the Trinity River, according to one anthropologist, C. Hart Merriam. Although it is unknown if they were the same as the aforementioned band, they were reportedly close to the Norelmuk in terms of language and culture. The natural resources in the area they occupied were very important to the Wintu tribes. The Winnemem Wintu tribe is more precisely known as Middle Water people in their native tongue. They struggle to preserve the water because they feel that they are the water and were created from it. In general, their culture and cultural use include hunting, fishing, and harvesting flora. They include autonomous spiritual beliefs, traditional art, and distinctive customs into their way of life. Villages would occasionally invite nearby tribes to feast, dance, and play games when they had excess food. In Wintu culture, dance had a variety of functions beyond just amusement. When one person transferred property to another, the begging dance, or sune, was performed. In the past, the Wintu people lived along streams in modest, semi-permanent dwellings. The dwellings of river and hill Patwin were in particular dome-shaped. The dwellings of the river Patwins were constructed from wood, straw, and other natural materials. Although the houses of the hill Patwins were structurally identical, an earth lodge had two primary functions in larger societies. Originally, the building was intended to serve as a sweat lodge for cleansing, spiritual rejuvenation, and reconnection with nature. In Windsor culture, the sweat lodge is also used as a location for single males without children to sleep. Fishing is a popular activity among the Wintu people. Additionally, they trade and use wild foods extensively in their economy. Salmon harvested from the McCloud and Sacramento rivers served as their main food source. They occasionally fished the Upper Trinity River for steelhead trout. It was common for men to hunt alone or in packs. For all kinds of animals, groups would utilize traps. For food or tools like baskets, women collected plants and other resources. A significant aspect of their culture and community was basket weaving. They carried, sifted, stored, and cooked in baskets. Hats, which many ladies wore, were another way that basket weaving was infused into fashion. Regarding the historical population of the tribes prior to European-American contact, scholars have been at odds. The population of the Wintu tribes declined as a result of sickness, forced labor, competition for resources, and other things. According to Alfred L. Kroeber, the Wintu, Namlaki, and Patwin together numbered 12,000 in 1770. Sherburne F. Cook first estimated that there were 2,950 people living in the Wintu proper, but he eventually almost increased that number to 5,300. In the 1970s, Frank R. LaPena calculated a total of 14,250. In 1910, Kroeber estimated that there were around 1,000 Wintu, Namlaki, and Patwin people. There are perhaps 2,500 Wintu now with a much improved population. Many of them reside on the Round Valley Reservation as well as the Colusa, Cortina, Grindstone Creek, Redding, and Rumsey rancherias. An average of 2,500 persons are said to be Winton. In order to preserve their culture and tradition, the Wintu tribes had to modernize their way of life. They clarify that their goal is to safeguard, promote, and maintain the tribe's culture in order to foster self-reliance and long-term economic success. Gary and Teresa Rickard, Vincent Cervantes, Jean Malone, Cindy Hogue, Bill Hunt, and Les Begley are currently members of the Tribal Council. After they were no longer recognized by the federal government, they constructed a museum and cultural resource center. The Central Valley Project Indian Lands Acquisition Act was authorized by Congress in 1941. As a result, the Lower Pitt, McCloud, and Upper Sacramento rivers were no longer accessible to the Wintu tribe. These areas of the land are considered sacred by the Wintu people. They lost salmon, their main food supply, along with the river. The Wintu were able to repurchase the property where the rivers are located in 2023. The Chinook salmon population, which runs through the winter, will be restored, they informed reporters and writers.